is Diligence. I am a real estate agent with a real broker in South Louisiana, doing what I absolutely love today. Today is inspection day for some buyers that I represent. And what I love about inspections is this. It is a time for the buyer to hire any inspector that they choose to have the home that they are under contract with inspected, ceiling to floor and everything in between, to decide really, are they moving forward with the purchase? It is their due diligence period. It is their time to really decide how much work does the potential home need, and are they moving forward with the purchase? And listen, I had someone I was talking to this morning, and they were thinking about putting an offer in on a house, and she said something to the effect of, but I only have 10 days to inspect it. Listen, lots and lots of times, real estate agents get into the I guess a rut sometimes. Remember this as the buyer. Number one, every single thing written in a purchase agreement between you and the seller is editable. Everything. And so I hear people say, well, my real estate agent said it has to be this, or it has to be this, or it has to be this. Yo, that is absolutely not the truth. You as the buyer have the right to put anything in that contract that makes you feel more comfortable with the purchase of the home. Now, can the seller counter it, reject it, want to change it? Absolutely. But you as the buyer, make sure that you hire a realtor who you know, like, and trust, and who will allow you to make that contract be whatever works for you. So she said to me, I know that the due diligence inspection period is 10 days. That's not true. That is not a number that is set in stone. You as the buyer get to decide how many days do you want for your due diligence and inspection period, which means after that contract is in place, how many days do you then need after the last person signs the contract and it's in agreement? How many days do you need to really think about it, to have it inspected, to have it researched, to do all the questioning that you need to? Listen, maybe even still house hunt and look and see what else is still out there, right? Especially if you're in an area where there's lots and lots of houses to choose from and you're just not sure. Now, in the rural areas where I mostly work, there just aren't a whole lot to choose from. So normally when a buyer goes into contract with the house, it's because that's the only house available, or there's like 2 or 3 other ones, but that's the one they want. But during your due diligence and inspection period, know that as the buyer, you have the right to have it inspected, to do all your research, to find out if it ever flooded, is it in a flood zone, how old is the roof, how old is the electrical, all these questions that your insurance company is going to ask you to find out so that you can get the lowest possible rate on that house. And then during that time, you have the ability to ask the seller for a couple of different things. There's so many different scenarios that can occur, but let's just say, for example, the plumbing is leaking in a couple of different places. You can ask the seller to fix the plumbing, right? Or if you have a plumber in your family and you go, look, I just want some money off the price, and after closing, we're going to deal with these plumbing issues. There's so many different ways that it can be handled. So make sure that you're in your due diligence and inspection period, you take the opportunity to deal with all of those things that need to be handled. And then you can ask the seller, let's say you ask the seller to fix 5 different things. The seller doesn't have to fix anything, actually. The seller can say, no, listen, you got a good deal on the house already, I'm not doing anything. Or the seller can say, okay, I'm going to fix all 5 things. Or the seller can say, listen, I don't want to fix anything, but we'll take some money off the price. You as the buyer then have the right to decide, are you moving forward with the purchase or are you canceling it? That's absolutely your right during that due diligence and inspection period, okay? So a lot of people will say to me, oh, what if it fails inspection? Y'all, there's no such thing as pass-fail. There's absolutely no such thing as passing an inspection or failing an inspection. This is one guarantee. I don't care if the house is brand spanking new and was finished being built last week, or if it's 100 years old. There are going to be things wrong with the house. There are going to be things that need to be fixed. And every inspector is going to decide what's major, what's minor, what's not even worth mentioning, right? Every inspector's different. It's a very subjective process, but for the most part, they all have to follow the same list of things that they're looking for. They're looking at the plumbing, they're looking at the electrical, they're looking at the roof, they're looking at the foundation, they're looking at all those things, right? But then they have to decide on their inspection report what's considered major, minor, marginal. They have like these little codes. Every inspector does it a little different. But there's no such thing as passing or failing. No such thing as passing or failing. There's not an A, B, C, D, or F letter grading system. There's just not. Now, what happens is, let's say you have it inspected, there are some things that you want fixed, or you don't want anything fixed and you just want a price reduction. The next thing that's going to occur, especially if you're getting a loan, it's going to occur, is an appraisal. And that's where, still, it's not a pass-fail. It's absolutely not a pass-fail. Now, everybody knows in real estate, the common person just doesn't know this. I didn't know this until I got into real estate. That kind of, if you're getting an FHA loan, a USDA loan, which is also called an RD loan, a VA loan, those types of government type loans generally are a little bit more stringent, a little bit more strict. Those appraisers are looking for lots of things, right? For the most part. So if, let's say, there's some broken windows, the appraiser is going to probably say those windows need to be fixed before the closing. A lot of times if they think a handrail needs to be added to a staircase, or even like steps going up to the back porch or up into the house, they'll say handrails need to be there, and the loan is going to be contingent on those handrails being put up. Then the appraiser either is going to ask for pictures to prove that those things were done, or they're going to have to go back out and make sure that it's been done. Those kinds of things happen during a government type appraisal. And so again, if let's just say the handrails are missing and the appraiser says the house needs handrails, you ask the seller to put those handrails, because you can't move forward with the loan process unless it happens. Now, listen, there are some situations where a house was inherited and the siblings maybe don't even have the means or the money to do so. There are workarounds. There's always a solution. Listen, there's always a way. There's always a way to get things done. So just know that. The most important thing is to have a realtor on your side who understands the legalities, to understand your rights. If you're the buyer, to really make sure that they're doing what they need to do for you as the buyer. And if you're the seller, what they're doing for you as the seller. All right? Remember this, in real estate, there are no stupid questions. Ask your questions. It's the only way you're going to learn. So ask your questions. I actually just drove up to my inspection for this house that I represent the buyers on. I'm so excited for them. And so they're going to go through their inspection. They're going to decide, are there some things that they want fixed, or are they just, going to ask for a price reduction, or whatever the case may be. It's their right to decide, with my guidance, of course. And we should be moving forward. Y'all have a great Thursday. Enjoy the rest of the week. It looks like it's going to be a great rest of the week. And if I can help you in any way real estate related, don't hesitate to reach out. Y'all take care.